All right, let's talk about what chronic stress is actually doing to your brain. And I mean physically, because it's not just a feeling, it's real damage. But more importantly, we're going to talk about how you can fight back, how you can reverse it, and literally rebuild your brain from the inside out.
You know that feeling, right? When you're so overwhelmed that your brain just seems to stop working, you can't focus, you can't remember anything. Well, it turns out you are not imagining it. There is a very real biological reason for that feeling, and we're going to break it all down.
So, it all starts with your brain's ancient alarm system. It's a survival tool called the HPA axis, and it's been hardwired into us for thousands of years. Whenever it thinks you're in danger, whether that's a work deadline or, an actual tiger, it flips a switch. And when that switch gets flipped, your body is flooded with a chemical called cortisol. This is your number one stress hormone. Its whole job is to get you ready for immediate action, to fight or to run, with a quick, powerful burst of energy. But here's the thing. Cortisol isn't the villain of the story. Not really. In small doses, it's super important. It's actually what helps you wake up in the morning. Think of it like a fire alarm. It's supposed to ring loud to alert you and then turn off. The problem starts when that alarm gets stuck in the on position. That's chronic cortisol. It's like a 24/7 siren blaring inside your head, and it slowly starts to wear down the very structure of your brain. And that wear and tear, that damage, it directly sabotages your ability to learn, to remember, and to just think straight. So let's look at exactly how this chronic stress hijacks your brain's ability to do its job. The first casualty in this internal war is your memory. That constant blaring siren of cortisol launches a direct assault on the very part of your brain that's in charge of making and keeping new memories. The main target is a region called the hippocampus, your brain's learning headquarters. All that cortisol causes the electrical wiring in there to just deteriorate. When this area is under attack, you literally can't press save on new information. This is exactly why studying while you're stressed feels like trying to fill a bucket with a giant hole in the bottom. The information just keeps pouring out. But the damage doesn't stop with your memory. Oh no, stress also goes after the most evolved part of your brain, the part that makes you, the part that makes you smart. I'm talking about your prefrontal cortex, right behind your forehead. This is the CEO of your brain. It handles focus, tough decisions, problem solving, the works. Well, chronic stress physically shrinks it. And that's not a metaphor. It's a measurable physical change. And the result? That horrible feeling we call brain fog, that inability to concentrate or just think, it's a direct result of your brain's CEO getting demoted. So picture this. While the smart parts and the memory parts of your brain are shrinking, another, much more primitive part is getting a massive and very unwelcome power-up. That's right. As your higher-level thinking gets weaker, your brain's primitive fear center gets stronger, and it starts to take over the controls. Meet the amygdala. It's your brain's panic button. Stress pumps this area full of juice, locking your brain into a constant state of survival mode. In this state, your brain hijacks all its own resources. Energy gets pulled away from luxury tasks like learning or creativity and is instead poured into anxiety and being on high alert. You just can't solve a complex problem when your brain is convinced a tiger is about to jump out at you. Now, I know, all of that sounds pretty terrible. A shrinking smart brain, a failing memory center, an overactive fear center. But here is the most important part of this whole thing. This is not a one-way street. The damage is not permanent. You can fight back. We have these powerful, science-backed tools we can use that don't just help you cope with stress, but actually help you rebuild your brain. So let's meet the two biggest heroes in this story. So the battle for your brain really comes down to this. On one side, you have the villains, chronic cortisol, causing the brain to shrink. And on the other side, you have our heroes, exercise and meditation, which promote actual brain growth. It's a battle, and you absolutely have the power to decide which side wins. Our first hero is exercise. You can think of it as a reset button for a stressed-out brain. See, exercise triggers the release of a protein called BDNF, which has been nicknamed Miracle Grow for your brain. And for good reason. It actively helps you grow new neurons, especially in that damaged memory center, the hippocampus, directly reversing the harm. And our second hero is meditation. Now, don't think of this as just relaxing. Think of it as a targeted workout for your brain.
When you practice meditation consistently, it's been shown to physically remodel your brain in two key ways. First, it shrinks the gray matter in your amygdala, that fear center, which makes you less reactive. And second, it actually thickens your prefrontal cortex, your smart center, boosting your focus and your resilience. Okay, now for one last really fascinating layer to this whole story. We've talked about how your experiences can change your brain. But what if some of those changes didn't even start with you?
The answer is in this incredible field called epigenetics. It's the science of how our environment and our behaviors can act like little switches that turn our genes on or off. It doesn't change your actual DNA, but it changes how your body reads the instructions in that DNA. And here is the truly mind-blowing part. Research has shown that these epigenetic changes, these on-off switches for your stress genes, can actually be passed down from one generation to the next. That means a tendency for a certain stress response can be inherited, not just through DNA, but through the experiences of your ancestors. And that leaves us with a really powerful final thought. It's totally possible that the way you react to stress was influenced by generations that came before you. But the crucial thing is this. With the knowledge we have, with tools like exercise and meditation, you have the power to break that cycle. The pattern may not have started with you, but the healing absolutely can.